Hi, hello, howdy. It is I, Carmen. I'm here in the style of drunk history. And as it were, I am drunk. And I am here to tell you about Marilyn Monroe singing Happy Birthday to John F. Kennedy and everything that surrounds it in the socio-political world that involves that historical event. So to start, I guess I should tell you a little bit about John F. Kennedy. So John F. Kennedy was like a known fuckboy by this point, right? So he'd been like, hi, hello, Toes. Yeah? So John F. Kennedy was raised in a place in which he was part of the aristocracy, which means that, like, he had a lot of money, right? And he was part of, like, the upper class. And his dad was a big fuckboy and just, like, had a lot of mistresses and raised both of his sons, JFK, who went by Jack, and Bobby, to, like, he was just like, yeah, fuck a lot of women, yada yada. And so a lot of historians say that John F. Kennedy was a sex addict. Whether or not that's true. I mean, anyway. John F. Kennedy was a known womanizer, as it were. And he had, like, had sex with spies and shit, and he had sex with, like, communists, and having sex with Marilyn Monroe was just, like, a one-up on everything. And for Marilyn Monroe, she was born, as a bastard. Like, she doesn't really know who her dad is. She was put up for adoption because her mom had a mental breakdown, and so she, like, lived a life in foster care, and unfortunately, because foster care is a garbage system, and it was the 1930s, and so foster parents got money for fostering people, so, like, people abused the system, and she was abused by a lot of her foster parents, and so, like, she lived her life just trying to get validation from anyone and everyone, and that's kind of, like, how she became the sex icon that people think that she is. And so then she married the greatest athlete of America, Joe DiMaggio, at the time. And then she married the greatest playwright in America at the time, Arthur Miller, although his plays are kind of not that special. And then she was like, oh, I'm gonna try and go after the greatest politician. And so then she was like, oh, JFK. Yeah, I'm gonna try and fuck JFK. And so they were, like, flirty or whatever, and there are, like, recorded phone calls of her calling JFK, and there's evidence that he took the phone calls. It's kind of, like, loosey-goosey on whether they actually did the deed or not. But come May 19th, I want to say it's 1979. Fun fact, May 19th is my birthday. Bobby Kennedy arranged to have Marilyn Monroe sing Happy Birthday for his brother at Madison Square Garden. And in what became an iconic moment, she was introduced 3 times, and she kept, like, coming on. She wasn't coming on because, like, notoriously she was fucked up and would come to things late and be, like, on drugs or whatever. And also, we know now that she was being sewn into her dress, like, it was being made on her body, so that's why she was late. But the man who was introducing her said, the late Marilyn Monroe, which now we know she, like, bitch died. 3 months later. And so she comes on and she's like wearing this beautiful dress and she's dripping in gold and jewels and diamonds, and she drops this like fur that she's wearing, and the guy allows her to go on, and she sings happy birthday, and some people say that she was trying to win over JFK, or she was trying to like prove her allegiance to him. But what I find more interesting about the story is that Jackie Kennedy knew that her husband was like fooling around. She knew because her dad was also fooling around, so she was like, I've seen this before, and she didn't really care that this was happening, so she was like, I don't really want to compete with Marilyn Monroe, so I'm gonna go do my own thing. So she was off doing her own thing. Queen, we love to see it. Anyway, Marilyn Monroe went on to like try to fuck Bobby Kennedy and try to also get with him, and then he also dumped her, and then some conspiracy theorists think that she was gonna come forward about trying to about her affairs with both brothers, and so that they arranged her to be killed because she took a lot of barbiturates. And so people are like, oh, it was impossible for her to have like taken that as one person herself, and so somebody must have like fed her those barbiturates. And some people are like, no, it was a suicide attempt. Clearly the report doesn't really clarify. What's it called? The frickin' I don't know. Anyway. Goes to show, JFK kept, like, fucking various people until he died. And both of them died quite soon after that video was taken. R.I.P.